What's good, YouTube? It's your boy NYC Mike, man, and I'm back with another reaction video. You already know what it do, and today we got another banger. Today we're gonna be reacting to Jordan Peterson. You already know he's the GOAT, and today he's gonna be talking about something that is very important, man. He's gonna be talking about the dangerous effects of pornography, man. You get what I'm saying? For all my dudes out there that are struggling with, this type of addiction, man, yeah, I really need to tune in and watch this video from beginning to end. You get what I'm saying? Because Jordan Peterson, he always knows what he's talking about. You feel me? And the reason why that is because he goes off of data, statistics, and evidence. You get what I'm saying? He uses logic to back up his claims. Not emotion, but logic. But, yeah, man. Before we get straight into the video, I need y'all to do me a favor, man. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And most of all, make sure you turn on those post notifications so you get notified when I upload a new video. Without further ado, we're going to hop straight into it.
And it's a non-trivial technological problem. You know, it's now possible for young men to look at more beautiful nude women in one day than any man has ever seen, prior to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, than any man in history had ever seen. That's not nothing. That's something. And to think that doesn't do anything to you, it's like, no, that likely does something to you.
What would you say are things that men need to be focusing in on when it's trying to select a woman for a long-term marriage partner?
Well, you want someone honest. That's really, really important. Someone who will do her best to tell the truth. And my wife swore she'd do that before we got married, and she has. Probably better than I have. And so that's a rock, man, at the bottom of things, So and you can't underplay the role of sexual attraction, and that's a mysterious thing, and so that's crucial as far as I'm concerned, and can't be.
So
just,
I have a real question about that, Jordan Peterson, Dr. Peterson. So you mentioned pornography, and we do countless pieces of content to be able to help young men overcome that issue and provide tons of resources to help them support them. So what I've noticed that happens sometimes is because of years of watching pornography, the men's sexual attraction becomes warped. And so how can a man whose sexual attraction to women has become warped to the extreme ends due to so much consumption of pornography, how can that man go back to now being attracted to, more natural looking women, or more women that could be around their lives instead of the projected?
Well, deprivation is helpful. Yeah. So I think it's reasonable to assume that there's a novelty edge in pornography, like there is in so many quasi-addictive phenomena. And so it has to become, because novelty is a sexual kick, it has to stay novel, and that means that over time it's going to become more extreme. So that's not good. Well, so how do you resensitize yourself in some sense? Well, you stop, and then hopefully you recover, and then you deprive yourself of that outlet, let's say. And you might say, well, is that absolutely necessary? And maybe there's nothing wrong with pornography. It's like, well, I don't know, man. Like, have you ever really...
Whoever said, bro, I hate when people say that there's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot wrong with pornography. There's a lot wrong with it. Bro, it's much deeper than you think. It's much deeper than you realize. Why do you think guys that are so addicted to it, why do you think those guys end up being alone for most of their lives? You get what I'm saying? And then some dudes never recover from that stuff, man. Some dudes never recover from it. You get what I'm saying? While some dudes do manage to recover it, but by the time they recover from it, they're already like late in age, like, late 30s, 40s. Sometimes even 50s or older. You get what I'm saying? Now, I was never addicted to it, but I will admit I have watched it a couple of times. You get what I'm saying? And even with just watching it a couple of times, I would always feel disgusted with myself because it's like, bruh, why am I watching this stuff? You get what I'm saying? Why am I watching this stuff? You feel me? But I know there are some people out here that are super addicted to it to the point where it's like they cannot stop watching it. They just can't. You get what I'm saying? And those are the people I feel bad for, because it's like, that means you have a problem. That means like you need to go talk to somebody. You need to go talk to a therapist or something. Because now we're talking about an addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're addicted to it. Like, you feel me? And then that's when it becomes dangerous.
I met a guy who is proud of that. Like, you know what I mean? That makes him feel like, I'm the guy, man. I'm watching pornography and getting off. It's like, what a man. I don't believe anyone feels that. And to me, maybe I'm wrong.
No,
and
you
to me,
ain't
that's an
wrong.
indication that, yeah, we know. No, it's pretty cheap. It's cheap. It's easy. And, I say that knowing that I believe the research evidence shows that if you introduce pornography into a community, that rates of sexual crime committed by men upon women actually decline. So there is perhaps some utility in the outlet. But, that's a unidimensional analysis and doesn't take into account all the other effects of pornography. So, including the ones you described. And I think that those are real. It makes sense that they're real, because it's super satiation. And it's a non-trivial technological problem. It's now possible for young men to look at more beautiful nude women in one day than any man has ever seen, prior to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, than any man in history had ever seen. That's not nothing. That's something. And to think that doesn't do anything to you, it's like, no, that likely does something to you. So don't substitute the false for the real. And don't underestimate the utility of deprivation. What do we need to drive us forward to have the adventure of our life? Well, some deprivation, that's for sure. That heightens desire and drive, and maybe you need that. You're afraid to approach a woman. Well, you remove part of your drive with pornography, and so now you don't have that sexual urge to overcome that anxiety, and so you stay timid for your entire life. Maybe not, but maybe.
So with 12 rules for life and also with Beyond Order, you've amassed so many amazing rules that I just think it's just so phenomenal. One of my favorites is Rule 4 and 12 Rules for Life. Don't compare yourself to others. Where others are today, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. And so, in your opinion, obviously, there's so many rules that are great, but what do you think is probably, if somebody was to read those books and there's one rule that you're like, this rule, out of the 24 I've given you over these past few years, you can absolutely not get this one wrong, which rule would that be?
Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Because you can't tell the truth, right? Because who are you to tell the truth? That's a mighty tall order, man. But you can stop saying things that you know are lies.
So that's the end of the video, man. Yeah, man. So my final thoughts, really, all I really have to say is that, when it comes to the whole pornography thing, man, yes, pornography is evil. I even made a video a while back on my channel talking about the evil of pornography and what it really does to the brain. You get what I'm saying? And how over time it, like how, Hafiz, I think that's his name, it warps your mind. You feel me? It warps your mind in a way where you're so used to watching the porn that you don't even find real, actual females attractive. You get what I'm saying? Like a real natural woman that you see in public, you wouldn't even find her attractive because you're so used to beating your meat to a computer, to a phone. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I say it's not good, and that's why in my opinion, I think it should be banned. I think it shouldn't even exist, because it really messes with a lot of young men mental. It really messes with a lot of young men's minds and really changes them in negative ways, man. You know? But yeah, man, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next reaction.